Hi everyone, it's Karen, and I'm back with my second design team project for AngeldreamcraftsKim on Etsy. And this is part of a hop, and all of the links to all the designers are in the description box below. And in order to win the prize, you must watch all of the videos that are posted from each of the designers. You must leave a comment and like and subscribe to their channel, and then Kim, the owner of the store, will be compiling all that information, and she will be drawing a winner for a $50 prize of laces and trims and goodies from the shop. And it runs from this Friday, June 25th until July 2nd. So it's 1 week long. So you have a week to hop over to all the videos listed below in the description box. There will be links to their channels, and then just go search their hop video. Like I said, comment, like, and subscribe to their channel, and you will be entered for a prize. And again, it's the second birthday celebration of AngeldreamcraftsKim on Etsy, and a link to her shop will also be in the description box below. Please go over and have a look at all the wonderful things that she has in the store. Now, I have used some of the products from her store, and I have made a doily and lace fairy book. And that is what is in front of you. Looks like a big pile of laces and trims, and it is big and thick and luscious and has all this beauty to it. And I am going to go through it and show it all to you. And I had a lot of fun making this. So Kim has had doily packs in her shop, and I used a couple of her doily packs. I also added in some of my handmade doilies, and I also added in some doilies from my stash. And then I used trims and laces from the shop as well, and also some cabochons and appliques and whatnot. So at the side is a ribbon that ties this closed, and I have some dangle pieces coming off of here. I have one of my flower fairies that I have made, and this is using stuff from my stash. And then I have a little piece of trim here from Kim's shop that I've used also inside of the book, and another little piece from Kim's shop again to make another little dangle hanging on here, and I've just added some little acrylic pieces and bling on there, and then a little bit of string beads tied in there as well, just to give a pretty dangle to the side of this doily book. Oh, and hanging from the flower fairy, I just remembered, I put a little chain coming out from the flowers, and I've attached one of the little pink hearts from Kim's shop that she's had in. And she carries all types of bling, and these may be sold out, but she carries other things, and her bling is absolutely gorgeous. It has just the most beautiful sparkle to it, and it's just beautiful. So back to the front cover. Again, along with all the doilies, I have used this gorgeous applique piece that's in her shop. She has two in the shop right now. This is the smaller of the two. It's probably about 6 inches by 3 inches. And there was a little pearl in the center, and I just took that out, and I glued in this cute little fairy cabochon, glass cabochon that you get a set of 5 of these, and I've used them throughout. So I put that one right in the center of there. And of course, there's the beautiful, this is one of the pieces I had in my design team package for this month, and I've used that there as a dangle piece and added in my own flat back pearls and bling. These are a couple of tatted flowers and a couple of my own crocheted little doilies as well. And then just doily, lots of doilies all staggered. The main part of the page, I think every once in a while you can get a glimpse of it. There's this page. It's something that I've crocheted myself, and they are made from a white soft yarn, and I've crocheted different styles of doilies. All, I didn't measure this. Let me just grab my ruler. The doilies are about 5.5 by 5.5, And that's the base that I used, and then attached all the other finer doilies on top of that. This is pages 2 and 3. And these I purchased, and they are made from rice paper. And they were little circles. They're about 3 inches across. And I took each of the circles, I cut it out of the rice paper, and I stitched it to felt. And then I added in embroidery stitches. These are some embroidery stitches here on top of the flowers. I added in some stitching around her dress and some little beads in the center of her dress and along the bottom here. And I added some beads in the center of the flowers in her hair. And then I used a metallic thread to do some stitches all around her wings, and then I stickled inside the center. So each of the little 3-inch circles that I got from the rice paper have all been embellished with embroidery stitching and beads, and then stickles and other things. And then the pages, I used that beautiful purple tulle gathered trim that I had in my design team package, and I added that just on the corner here of this one. And I added, of course, there's all the doilies in behind. There's this really pretty lace that Kim had in her shop that I have been hoarding to use in this doily book, and it was a gathered sort of a net trim with little polka dots on it and a pretty white edge. And I wanted it to go around the pictures because it's just perfect, because I like how you can see the doilies through it because of it being very light, and it just adds that little extra element of texture in that. I've also added in one of the charms from Kim's shop, and then in this corner I cut that one trim that I showed in my design team package, and I cut each flower individual, added one of my own little blings to the center. This is another trim that's in her shop that I had left over from a previous design team package, and I added that for a dangle. And then another little piece of that other trim that was on the front and in my design team package, just one piece of it here. And then underneath we have a little bit of that, the floral dangle trim that's from her shop. And I added my own little purple and mauve colored blings to that. And then under there is some doilies, and then the back of the front page. So I added lots of layers so that there's lots to look at, and it has a great feel to it. This is one of my little tatted butterflies, and there's another one on this page. So this one is the little blue fairy, and again she has these flowers all along here have bullion stitch and French knots, and then there are beads all scattered through the flowers on her hair and some more blue French knots. And then I went around the edge of this one with this trim here. I used one of the dangle-like trims from this one. I just chose one that I liked, and I used it here. And it's just a single piece, and I just kind of wove it around to make the edge around that image. And then this crown is from Kim's shop, and I added that on top of her head. And then these are little tatted flowers that I created as well, and added little blings to the center. And of course there's loads of doilies in the top. And you can see this is the page that I crocheted myself, and then of course adding all the doilies on top of it, you kind of lose that page. It kind of becomes your base, and that's why I like crocheting them on myself in a simple yarn, because you get the weight for the page, but it doesn't have to be anything fancy because it gets hidden under all this beautiful stuff. So another little charm, Kim's had these in the shop too. I don't think she has them currently, but it's a little fairy sitting on a moon. And then I added this is another piece that's from her shop from my last month's design team project, and I added a few little blue blings on there. And then a blue doily that I had in my own stash, and then you can see the back of the next page. You can see there's the crochet doily that I made that creates each page, the base of each page. And then this is the back of the next trim, but I always add little blings in even on the back side so that there's that sparkle, because they do dangle through and they peek through here and there, and I always want you to be able to see something pretty on the back page, even in the back of the page. So that's page 2 and 3. The next 2 pages are in pinks and a bit of green. And again, loads of doilies on the pages. This is a flower, a cotton sort of crocheted flower that was in Kim's shop, and I cut it in half, and I used half coming out this side of the page behind the image and the other half down here, and added some beads coiled up in the center of that flower. I added one of the blings from Kim's shop here on this page. And then this is another piece of the dangle lace, and I just cut it and shaped it to go that way. And then there's a piece hanging down here as well, cut slightly different. This one's cut, you know, to end up with 2 of these dangles, and this one is 1. And then there's part of a doily that was in her doily pack, and some other doilies on the edge here. There's several doilies on each page, and some of them are cut and others are tucked in. And then this is the dangle trim, of course, from her shop that we're all very familiar with and was in my design team package from a previous month. And then I added some pink blings and some little flat back pearls on the bottom of that. And then there's that flower trim again. And this side has little pink blings on it. Whereas when you saw it on the reverse side, which I can flip up here, I put blue on the reverse because it matched the other page. So lots of layers, lots to look at, lots of feel, lots of texture. This cute little fairy has, again, I've done lazy daisy and bullion stitch and French knots all through the flowers in her hair and around her bun. And then I did a few French knots down in here and some in that with a metallic pink thread. So they have a bit of sparkle. I added a few pinky gold beads in that one as well. And a couple more of my tatted butterflies. Now this little fairy, same thing on this page. She has all French knots and beads all through her dress, metallic thread around the edge of her wings, and French knots making up the flowers and beads through her hair. And then there's lazy daisy stitches and French knots through the flowers on the side here and again here. And then lots of beads added in as well to give it sparkle. And then on this page, again, I used that beautiful netting type lace that Kim had with the polka dots on it that I had saved. And then, of course, there's doilies underneath there and underneath all the way around. And then again, one of the cotton flowers that I showed you over here, but on this side, I did some embroidery stitching just around the edge of the petals, just to bring a little bit of pink down into this corner. Used another one of the fairy cabochons in the corner of that flower. This is a flower that Kim made me, I think last year for my birthday, and sent it to me, and I've been hoarding it, and this was the perfect place for it. And she had a different center in it, and I took out that center and I put one of her blings from her shop in. Now this little bling does come with a little pearl dangle on it, but I took the pearl dangle off and I'll use it somewhere else, and I put this beautiful rose gold and beautiful crystally piece in the center of this flower. And then I did a couple of tatted flowers coming below that and added some blings and some beads in those. This is a flower from the flower dangle lace. I just cut one of the bigger flowers off and tucked it up here in the corner. And then of course there's that dangle trim that we've been seeing, and again there it is in its entirety. This one I added some little pink blings and some little flat black pearls on. Then under that one is that same trim that I have used previously on another page with all the pretty little dangles on it and all the different, it's so pretty. That one's just so pretty, and I've put that on there as well. And then the last 2 pages before we reach the back are in turquoises and purples. Colors were dictated, of course, by the images themselves. I just drew out some of the colors, and then when I put them on the pages, I wanted to bring them together because they're looking at each other, and so I wanted the pages to kind of mesh together as well. So this one, although she was primarily turquoise and had some bit of yellow in her hair, I added in some purple, and then drawing the purple over there, and then added a bit of turquoise on this side to make these pages more together cohesively. Again, lots of doilies in behind, and some of them I cut and tuck in behind the image so that you can have the pieces to use, and others you use the whole doily. It just depends on how it fits on the page. And you see doilies from the previous page as well, peeking out here and there, and it just adds to the whole look of the book. This is one of the flowers from Kim's shop, and I added that here with a little piece of this as a dangle underneath it. And then, of course, this is that other trim again that I used on another page, and this one I put a lot more flat back pearls in the turquoise and in the cream colored pearls to add a little bit more to that. And they're just so easy to embellish if you want to add something to them. The laces are really easy. And then this is part of a doily. And then there you can see the back of that dangly lace again coming through from the previous page. And then again, here's just a little butterfly that I just attached here, a little acrylic purple butterfly. And again, more of that trim from her shop in the purples. And I've added a bling in the center, a couple of tatted flowers, a tatted butterfly, another beautiful crown for the top of this fairy's head, and another one of the beautiful cabochons in the center. This has a little, maybe you might be hard to see because I can see the reflection of my ring light in there, so it makes it hard, but it's a little fairy again. And then this, of course, you'll recognize again as one of those flowers from the flower trim used on the previous page. I used another one here. And then moving over to this page, this one is more in the purple colors. And again, bullion knots, French knots, lazy daisy stitch, all done throughout her hair and around the page to accent these pretty flowers. And then purple stitching and purple beads in here as well, and then some stickles on her part of the wing that you can see here. And then again, that beautiful netted polka dot trim, lots of doilies behind there, more of that flower trim running down the side here. There's two of them. And then I used more of the dangle parts down here hanging down. This purple fringe trim that I had in my design team package, I gathered it on the one edge and made it like a fringy little flower, and then added a doily and this little piece of purple flower trim onto there to make a flower there, and then added a few more tatted flowers in turquoise and purple tucked in around it. And then another one, of course, another one of her little charms, and I added a little turquoise tassel on that one. And then under this floral trim, which I added the flat back pearls on, is just a little bit of a purple doily that I had in my stash that just fit this so well. And then more of her trims underneath. This is the rose trim that was in her shop, and I had some left, just this piece actually, but it fit perfectly on the page. Actually, I had two pieces like this because there's one more on the back. And they just fit perfectly on here. And I added some flat back pearls. And then this is a little bit of a doily piece from my stash. And this one I think was from her doily pack. And I just tucked them all in along the bottom here and added some blings in the center. And that makes up that page. One of my beaded butterflies is here. And of course, more of that purple trim from her shop is here. And I just cut each flower separately and then added a bling to the center. And then the back page, what I did was of course, it's got lots of doilies, another one of those pretty, I think I used a whole one. Yeah, I used a whole one here, and I've used those throughout the book. And they're cut like a cotton doily type flower that she had in the shop. And again, that polka dot netted trim and more doilies tucked in all around the edges here. Created this flower out of the beautiful box pleat trim that she had in the shop, and it was a box pleat with lace, and I just twisted it round and round and round to the center. Makes the easiest flower ever. I added a doily in behind it, and then I added one of her new flowers in the center of there. And I think that it turned out really pretty. Now it looks like a nice big flower. Even this looks like a layer of the flower, and then a crocheted layer, then all the box pleating, and then that flower in the center. And then dangling from it is a piece of that trim again. And I just cut it so that it was two from, and then I added a second one of these onto this one, and then I put a little tiny doily from my stash behind another one of the cabochons, the fairy cabochons, and I put that at the dangling at the bottom as part of the dangle. And then there's that rose trim again with some pearls on it, and then more of that doily again, and some blings in the center. And that makes up the final page. And it turned out really pretty. I'm really pleased with it. It feels really nice in your hands. It's very lush and lots of sparkle. And any fairy lover would, I think, really like it. Anyone who likes doily books, I think, would really like it too. It's very pretty. I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. So again, please go over and check out AngeldreamcraftsKim on Etsy and shop for some of these wonderful goodies in her store, and follow along the hop. Like I said, all the links will be in the description box below. Just keep clicking and keep going and seeing them all, liking them all, subscribing to everyone's channel, and leave a comment on each of the videos so that you can be entered to win a prize. And that prize will be drawn on July 2nd, and it will be on Kim's channel, Kim Fuller, who's owner of the shop. But I will also put up a video to say who won, just in case someone misses that, so that they know. I hope you all have a great weekend. This video is going to be posted on July 25th when the hop starts. So watch it and then get on hopping. Okay, bye for now.